Hello, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, welcome. For the first time, we are going to be talking about e.l.f. eyeshadow. Apologize, I'm a little winded. I came down the stairs and then started filming almost immediately, but e.l.f. eyeshadow, I like a lot of things from e.l.f., but their eyeshadow is not ever something that I got on with super well, and I went through this with Wet n Wild too, and we'll talk about that more here in a little bit. I do have a couple of their quads. These are in my declutter basket. I pulled them out just for this video. I'm not going to keep these, and again, I'll explain a little bit more in depth why, but I picked this palette up on Poshmark. It's the Earth and Ocean palette. I got it for $5. We're going to try it out. If I don't like this, I'm probably not going to buy an e.l.f. eyeshadow for a very long time, but yeah, if you want to see how I get on with this, then just keep on watching. We're going to talk about the quads, and again, a little bit more why I decluttered them, what I decluttered them for, and then some other recommendations as far as drugstore palettes that are affordable that I do like. And then if you like this color story, this palette is not available, at least not on e.l.f.'s website. Again, I got mine on Poshmark. I will give you an alternative palette with a similar color story. So yeah, all of those things. I'll try and catch my breath and let's jump in. Okay, let me start off. The reason I picked this up is I was watching Jen Phelps. She was doing her declutter. The first part, I want to say, was like an hour to 2 hours. And then she did a second part with her high-end stuff, which was like 2 hours. It took me several days to watch. But she had this palette. The main shade, and the reason I picked it up, was this Tundra shade. It looks like a silver, but it's a duochrome, I guess. And I haven't swatched this, so we're going to swatch it. And you can actually, it's a transformative shade. So let me see. Let's look at this Underwater, which is a darker shimmer right here. So it looks like that. And then if we take some more of Tundra, so let's do a second swatch. And then if we put Tundra, and you can do this with other palettes. This isn't like a new thing, but I just kind of liked that. So you have Tundra by itself, Underwater, and then mixed together. Like I said, this is not a revolutionary thing. I don't know what I got. I just noticed that there's like ink all over my hands. I don't know what that's from. I touched. Oh, I was, one of my daughter's things, I think I was trying to fill up our water, filtered water jug on the counter. And I always have to move this like craft kit thing. And it's one of those, it looks like a suitcase and you can color it. I'm assuming it's not coming off though. I'm assuming that's what that came from. But it's been a long morning. Anyways, looking at that, that is why I picked this up. I was able to find it for $5 on Poshmark. It's not a super revolutionary color story. You've got some earthy shades and then some blues, so the name is very fitting. Some of the shimmers do look pretty. These Tundra Lagoon specifically look better than what's in their quads. So I don't know. I was interested enough to give it one more try. So we're going to do that now, and then we'll talk about an alternative palette to this, because again, this is not available. And then my drugstore recommendations, exactly, you know, why I'm getting rid of my quads. I talked about it briefly in my declutter, but I didn't go super in depth just because I was trying to keep that video shorter. But I'm going to put some eyeshadow primer on. I'm not going to do my brows or makeup or anything. We're just looking at the eyeshadow. So I'm going to bring you in and we'll see how this palette goes. So I'm starting off with a white base, and this is the Gerard Clean Canvas in white, but you could use a light concealer. I think a white base is going to give us our best chance. It's going to give you the most color payoff. I'm going to go in. I've really been liking these Game Beauty brushes. So this is the EO2. I'm going to go in with these like browns and greens on one eye, and then I will do a couple of the blues on the other. So Desert Storm is a khaki brown. just put this in. I will talk a little bit about the quads. I never thought they were bad, but I don't ever think I thought they were the end all be all either. And I always found myself when I would use them at home pulling in. I had a ColourPop quad. The one I used the most was the pumpkin pie one from e.l.f. and then I would find myself pulling in, I think it's this. Is this the one that I had, creamsicle? I'm looking here. This is the one that broke a little bit. Oh, this one. This is the one that I had, mocktail. I always found myself bringing this in and using it with the pumpkin pie, just because I never felt like the pigmentation was there with it. And I always use it with an eye base, either my shade in Fair of the Gerard Clean Canvas, and then I got the white recently, but I just never felt like they were as pigmented as I wanted. So I never found myself traveling with them either for that reason, because in the back of my head, I don't like traveling with the ColourPop quads because they're a little bit on the fragile side. And it's like, if I'm going to bring a bigger palette to use with it, I might as well just bring the big palette. So my friend Christine sent me a bunch more of the quads for Christmas, and I have a corresponding shade pretty much for the 4 e.l.f. ones that I had. So I was finally like, I don't think I need these anymore, because the pigmentation on the ColourPop ones I think is so much better. I don't think this is terrible. The white is definitely helping. And then there is a black in here, or it's not really a black, it's like a charcoaly gray. It's a little bit of a like a shimmer, but it's not a metallic shimmer, so I'm gonna put that in the outer corner. I don't know why I have that so far away, my little washcloth. And then I'm gonna go in with Spruced. Again, I don't think this is terrible, but I don't know that I'm gonna find myself reaching for this over the, I'll show you the other palette at the end and we'll talk about the quads more. Let's see. I will say, I think the shimmers in these are better. I may keep this for a while just because it's a good drugstore alternative in this color story, even though like it's not available. I will say I do think this is better than the quads, but I don't know. I'm not putting any glitter glue down either. I do think the pigmentation of this is a little better than the quads, but it's not anything that I think is life-changing or mind-blowing. Like I said, I don't know that with this color story, I don't know that I'm going to reach for this over the Ace Beauté one that I'll show you. Let's go in. There's only a couple of blue mattes. Let's go in with this blue and Abyss. Like I said, I just don't think that e.l.f. is, unfortunately, is just not my favorite. Which, there's nothing wrong with that. That's fine. It happens. Wet n Wild's been very hit and miss with me. I don't love all of their eyeshadow. I have one palette that I like. And again, I will show that. I will probably revisit this and spend a little bit more time. I do think the blues, I like the pigmentation on this side better. The grungy greens, I think maybe can be a little bit tricky. I do like that there's this like charcoaly shade in here to kind of deepen it up. I would probably be much more inclined to travel with this than the quads, if that says anything. And we're going to put that Tundra shade down because that's the shade that intrigued me. It is a little bit chunky. I got it up all over. It's harder on this side. I need to start using my left hand. I definitely think that's pretty. It would look better, obviously, if my brows were done, full face of makeup, all those things. I don't know that the longevity is going to be there with this. Again, I'll have to play around with it a little bit, but I'm going to take you back out and we'll discuss. Okay. I do like this better than, I had the rainbow one. It had white packaging. It was a collab palette with somebody. I can't remember what it's called, but I do like this better. I do think like this is something that I could travel with. I like the shimmers in here better. That I will say that Tundra shade's a little bit chunky, but I do like that it's kind of toppery and you could put it over any of the others in here. I do think I will keep this. Is this going to be my first choice as far as this color story? No, and I do think the blue side performs a little bit better than this side, but these colors, some of these are a little bit darker also. I wish there was a darker shade kind of in here. You do have this one, which technically is a shimmer, but a darker mossy green I think would have been helpful instead of one of these shimmers, like maybe this one, but that's more of a nitpicky thing at this point. A color story alternative is the Ace Beauté Oceanic. I have this. I thought I decluttered it. My friend Christine actually sent me one of these also. So I have an extra one. I need to do another giveaway, but very, very similar. This one's definitely more blue leaning, whereas, but you do have those grungy green shades on the bottom. So we're definitely in the ballpark. I think this is a very good alternative. This palette is still available on Ace Beauté's website, but you like all of these blue shades are in this palette, and the pigmentation of Ace Beauté is far superior to e.l.f. So I think if I'm in my house and I have the choice between the two, I'm going to reach for this. And these do travel well. I have taken a few of these with me. So I think I'll keep this for a little while just as a drugstore option, even though it's not necessarily available on e.l.f.'s website. It is still being sold on third parties, because I do like having some drugstore options for people. Is it my favorite? No, but it's not the worst either. Drugstore palettes that I like, these are more, well, I think these were around the same price point as what this one was when e.l.f. was selling it. The Nudes of New York, I like this palette. I wish, I don't know if I can get this open. I wish CoverGirl would come out with some more in the same formula. They have some smaller palettes that I think are hit and miss, but this one's really good. Again, it's nice for travel. The shimmers aren't out of this world, but they're good. They're above a satin, so that's nice. And then the mattes are pigmented. I do like this one. One of the Wet n Wild ones that I do like is part of their color icon. Lights Off. These are the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I like these 10 pans. I bought my friend Christine this one, and then I bought her one of the 4 or 5 pan ones. I think she said she liked it. I got her the yellow one. I don't have any of those. I've looked at them, but I've never purchased them. But I do like this one specifically. And again, it's got in the same vein of that Tundra shade in this one. It's like a duochrome. You can use it as a topper. It's going to give you the same effect. So it's not like that Tundra shade is, again, a unique concept and unique to my collection. Some more alternatives. I like these Profusion ones. Profusion does have some smaller palettes that they're starting to put out. I haven't tried those, so I can't speak to the quality. I'll leave my scissors out, but I do like this one. I've used the mauves and I've traveled with it. These are still around $5. You can get them at Walmart. I have this other one in Meadows that I've been meaning to use. I have not used it yet, but it's a little more colorful. And again, you've got like a duochrome shade in there that's pretty. In the vein of like the e.l.f. quads, I think these hard candy ones are really good. They're pigmented. These are the brighter ones. They have some color variations that are more neutral. I have the the green and the hot pink, but they do have a brown neutral one, a little more mauvey one. I think there's a dusty or purple one. So there are variations, and the shimmers are very intense. They both have a duochrome. So I like these. These are a little more expensive. I want to say these are like $6.99, but the quality is there, in my opinion. So now we have my ColourPop quads. Now, the one that I had first was Mocktail. I got it in one of their mystery boxes. The packaging on these is very fragile. One of mine did break slightly, but it didn't break to the point that I can't close it. But I don't travel with these for that reason, because I'm worried they're going to pop open. And then the shadows are prone to breaking, and that could be why they're phasing these out. I hope they bring them back in different packaging, because the formula on these is amazing. So Mocktail is always the one that I used with pumpkin pie. I would go in with this, and then I would use the shimmers and this brown, because the pigmentation is so much better. So I didn't think I needed the pumpkin pie. And then Christine, one of the ones she gave me is on the mango, which this is one of the ones that the little piece, I don't know if you'll be able to see over here, the plastic kind of broke, but it still closes. So I just have to be careful when I open it. I have this, what is this called? Berry Batty. It's a pinky mauvey one in another mystery box. I ended up getting Sorbet. Oh, see, this one did the same thing. That piece of plastic just snapped off. So I have this one, which is almost identical to this. Again, the formula of these is so much better. The packaging is just terrible. Yeah, that one just, the piece did the same thing. Just broke. And I'm not being hard on them, I don't think. They're just very finicky packaging. So I didn't think I needed that one. Let's see, I bought this one at Ulta. This is Cream and Sugar. Never used it, but it looks very much like, what is this, Feeling Coconutty? I'm afraid to open this now. So don't need that one. And then the last one that I have, again, I never used it, is Carnival Candy. So a bunch of neutrals and a pop of blue. And then Christine gave me this one, which is Crystal Clear Aquarius. So you have some neutrals and some blues. And then the other one that she gave me is Creamsicle. So I felt like with those two, didn't need this one either. So those four are going to go to a better home. And then again, you can see why I don't travel with these. But again, I wish they would keep the formula and just redo the packaging, because these are fantastic. And I was super excited to get some more, because again, I only had two. So super, and she wrapped them really well in bubble wrap. So they came, everything was fine. They just, as you saw, the packaging has broken. So yeah, I don't think this is terrible. I do think this is better than the quads. Again, I'll keep it. It's probably one when I do my declutter next year will probably go, but I do like having some drugstore options. So yeah, I don't foresee myself buying any more e.l.f. palettes. Unfortunately, I think there's better drugstore formulas out there. I'm going to get a wipe off when we're done, because I'm going to take this off. But yeah, let me know your thoughts. Do you guys like the e.l.f. palettes? Like, I do get why people buy these, because they're $3. And then these are nice, again, for travel. But for somebody like me, I'm just probably more likely going to travel with this. Or like I have traveled with this. Or with these. So there's just, it just doesn't make sense for me to keep these. I could pass them on to somebody else that's going to use them. So yeah, those are my thoughts. Let me know what you guys think. Do you guys really like e.l.f. eyeshadow, or like, are you like me where it's just got caught up in the hype and you bought them because everybody else liked them, but you don't really use them? Let me know. I'm curious. And then if you have this palette, do you like it? Do you use it a lot? And then if you have this palette, do you use it more than this one? All those things. Let me know. very curious. So yeah, thank you guys so much. Make sure you're subscribed if you're not already. I am going to be doing my red and pink palettes next. I have left them out. I've had several requests to keep going with the red and the pink videos, so I'm going to be filming those next. But yeah, thank you guys so much. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and hopefully I will see you in another video very, very soon. Bye, everybody.